Okay, I'm going to be going over SHTF optics for homestead and rural use. Big difference, I would say, in rural versus urban, or you're in a subdivision, is identifying targets. And one of the things I found beneficial is a Prism like 4x, 5x scope. This is my main homestead defense rifle. I do have an Agog 4x Prism. I do have a suppressor. I've got a flashlight, IR laser. I do have night vision. I mean, it's one of those things you're on rural property, you need some force multiplication, suppressors, thermal, night vision, very beneficial. Not mandatory, but very beneficial. But this scope is phenomenal. I mean, it's probably one of the best combat proven compact optics you can get. It's not cheap. That's the one negative I've found. I mean, and as you can see on here, I do not run iron sights, backup iron sights. Back in the day, the Marine Corps, they would issue the Agog and they'd give you your carry handle. You'd mount it on the handrail. And then as time went on, this optic was proven, and then that just kind of fell out of practice, and nobody, people had like flip up iron sight, and then it just kind of fell out of practice. This does have a QD mount if I wanted to take it off and swap it, but I don't. I've never had to. I mean, sometimes I have like a higher powered scope for, varmint hunting or something I'll swap out, or a thermal throw on here, but that's about it. The one negative that a lot of people find with this optic is the eye relief. So this is perfect eye box for me right now with this scope. The one issue I found with this scope, and as you can see, I'm wearing glasses. I'm older, my vision is not as great as it used to be. With this scope in particular, I need to look through my glasses, and image quality is phenomenal. If I look over my glasses, it is blurry. You'll see here in a second, but certain scopes, it's opposite. So the other thing with this, if I extend the scope out a little bit, I can have it up and stare through it with both eyes open, and it's kind of like a red dot. So for just like snap targets, I can just kind of glance with both eyes open. The dot in there, this particular model has a dot, or the donut of death, as it's sometimes called. I do have a couple others with the triangle, which is the preferred, and for me at least, I like the triangle a little bit better, but for all around, the red donut is a little bit quicker for, moving and coyotes and things like that. It's just it's kind of especially if I'm just going to glance through it with both eyes open, and like for shorter ranges, it works out good for that. But like I said, the big negative is the price. The great benefit, as you can see here, it's got a fiber optic and tritium, so no batteries. It just goes. I know the tritium, I've got a couple Acogs that are over 10 years old, and the tritium still works. Not as good as it did when it was new. Fiber optic will last for, as long as, this is all cracked up, whatever. A lot of times though, in sunny days, you got to put a piece of tape over it. It's too bright. So, but for an SHTF optic, you cannot beat the Agog. If you can swing the budget, highly recommended for a small compact. I'm not even going to mention LPVO's, low-powered variable optics. I've tried them. Every time I use them, those are the ones that looks like it's got a smaller tube and then the bigger eyepiece, but no big objective at the end. And they're adjustable from like a red dot, no magnification, to like 6, 8, 10. And the originals were like 4 power. My problem with those, whatever the max magnification, I always left it on there and I never changed it. And it was always around 4 to 6. And I tried an 8 powered one, and it was just a little too much for my general use. For me, I'm never gonna have a shot over 500 yards ever on my properties. Too many trees, too many hills. It's just not gonna happen. So, but like I said, so that's some of the benefits of this. And like I said, it's combat proven optic. You'll see, you've probably seen them, in every service I believe uses them. So it's very much worth it. Like I said, the only downside, short eye relief, which doesn't bother me at all, and the price. Okay, this is the budget optic. If you don't want to spend the price for an ACOG, but you still want comparable performance, this is what I found to be, and it doesn't have to be this particular model, but for right now, for this price, you cannot beat this thing. It's a Vortex Spitfire 5X Prism scope. I picked one up at Palmetto State Armory recently. It was, I think they're originally like $500 scopes, which is, it's a mid-tier in the budget, but they have them right now for $199 plus shipping. 5X. It's battery illuminated, but it also, as you can see on this one, the 5X model has a plate on the top. I had to buy an adapter to mount an RMR on there, but it comes with I believe a Doctor footprint to fit Doctor or Vortex red dots on top. Not made in America like the ACOG. Doesn't have the Bible verses on it like the ACOG. It's China made, which normally I try to steer clear, but for the price, I wanted to try it out. It's kind of hard to like have an ATV gun you just throw around all the time and not worry about it, but and it's very light. This is like the size of an old school red dot, and then I've got a Trijicon RMR dual illuminated, no batteries. So my theory on this one is primary. The RMR is my primary. It's battery free, fiber optic, and tritium. It's high enough on here that if I'm using NVGs, I can passively use it and not use IR laser, because if somebody else has NVGs, they will see my laser. So, and then you can see I do have backup iron sights on here, but my plan is to get a quick detach mount for this. This uses the Aimpoint micro mounts, so I've already ordered a micro mount. I'm going to have a QD micro mount, so for some reason this gets damaged, take it off, and I got the flip up sights on there, already on there. This is when it's a little odd though. If I look through this one, I have to look through without my glasses and look over. Super sharp, very nice etched reticle. When I put my glasses on though, it is blurry, completely blurry. Like I can't even make out. But what's strange is my RMR with the glasses on, sharp as can be, if I look over my glasses, it's just a big blur. So something to consider if you wear glasses like I do. But yeah, like I said, for the price though, if you have a budget, you need something. My driveway, as an example, is a 1/4 mile. So with a red dot, if I want to just identify what's going around, something down there. My neighbors, I have one visible neighbor's driveway that I can kind of see on one part of my property. It's about 400 yards from my property line to his gate. And if I want to see if somebody's trespassing, whatever, iron, just visible, using a red dot or just taking a look over there, it's hard for me to identify sometimes. Like I can't see license plate numbers, things like that. If I look through a 5X or 4X, I could make out some pretty good details. So it's very beneficial. So like I said, with this, I'm using this as my primary as a red dot, just for quick stuff. But then if I need to, I can look through this underneath and actually make out some pretty good details and identify targets. Because like I said, with iron sights, I can hit easily, a couple hundred yards. I can't identify stuff as well as I used to. So if I see a coyote or something at 200 yards, I'm like, is that a coyote or is that my neighbor's dog? I need the target identification. So I do carry binoculars most of the time too, but it's kind of nice to be able to see and identify the target, because in an SHTF situation, the ideal goal is to not engage and not get into a shooting match. On my property, I like to identify any type of threats, observe, and then evade if possible. Because it's like gun battles are the last thing you want. I mean, because if you're defending your homestead, that's your home. So your family's, I mean, it's you ideally last thing you want to happen, but you know, but four-legged critters, whatever, two-legged, I mean, you still need to defend yourself, but you need to identify your target both ways, because you know, is that guy holding a, you know, a piece of mail, or is it a gun? You know, you don't know, so you need to identify. So, and like I said, you young guys, just wait if your eyes are to start going, because it's a challenge every time I go shooting now. And I've been experimenting with all types of optics, and I'm finding what works for me. And so, like I said, but optical clarity, very comparable to the Trijicon, believe it or not. I don't, you know, I look through both daily, so I mean, you know, granted my eyes aren't the greatest, but I still have 20/20 with corrected vision, so it's in the price range, it's very hard to beat. So I'm gonna now show you guys some views through these outside. You can make your own conclusions, but for the price, if you get this for $199 and then get a Vortex red dot, you know, you're at a, you know, you're still at, you know, 300 bucks maybe total. Granted, if you do an RMR and you do a quick detach mount, you're pushing 500 bucks easily plus. But Trijicon Acog new is over $1,000. You could find them on the used market, you know, for maybe $600, $700, $800, and you know, that still might be a better option. But if you're on a tight budget, get this. Put no red dot on top, or just get some generic red dot to use close ranges, and then, or just use this as it is, as a 5X. I mean, it's a phenomenal 5X. It's for the size, like I said, I think it's like 11, it's under 12 ounces. It's like 11.8 or something like that. It's very lightweight. It's got the little cap so you can store on the side. I mean, it's very good for the price. Hard to beat, especially like I said, $199. Full retail, probably you can find. Then I would probably get like a Burris or something, like a low-powered variable optic made in like the Philippines, because I mean, generally in optics you want Chinese is the lowest level, bad optical quality. You generally want to go, I want to say, from what I've been told, Chinese low end, next is like glass made in the Philippines, then Japanese, and then American made, and you're gonna get some questionable on this, but American made and European are probably the top. You know, that's what I've always been told. So yeah, so I'll take you guys out and let you guys take a look through some of these. Okay, I'm trying to use this the best I can. Sorry about the... I had to switch to my phone camera. I can't get it to, that fence is about 400 meters. Okay, a little easier